While we may have done 90% of the work on this van ourselves, and we're about 90% done, we're not professionals. So please consult a professional with all your questions, and remember to wear the proper safety gear, including the Crocs. Alright, so we're trying to get prepared to start putting in the floor. Insulation, subfloor. I'm not going to do the finished floor material at this point, but I'm trying to get it figured out. And you've probably seen a lot of van builds where the floor extends out over the opening of the step in the doorway, and you kind of have the cabinet overhanging, and you get the little fancy drop down table that extends outside. So we're trying to figure that out, but as you know, in our build, hang on a sec, I'll show you, we have seat there. And so with that seat there, forgive the sunlight, that seat there creates an issue with our cardboard mock-up of what cabinets may be and just the physical need to squeeze in between the two. Right, these seats don't lean any farther forward. They were nice for install because of the Ford OEM seats, but it creates an issue. So we're trying to figure out, how far into this stepwell down here do we have our floor extend or not extend. So we had to play around a bit, kind of mocking up the space where if our toilet would fit in the correct zone, obviously cabinets will be around it, mocking up kind of what the fridge would take up space wise, and we would like our sink and faucet stuff here and not be washing dishes over a cabinet that holds a toilet. It just seems odd to us. So and you got to figure our bed's going to be with that flare. So before we can do a floor, we had to spend an hour playing with cardboard. So that's where we stand. Now we're going to pull this seat back out, get everything out of here, wipe down the floor again, and get to it. So we're finally ready here to start cutting the foam board. That's going to be one of the couple of layers of insulation that's going down as the subfloor of the van. I'm going to go start working on the other layer in a moment, but I want to show you what Kirsten has going. So we're using the 3/4 inch XPS foam. Pretty popular. We're kind of going to copy what the Far Out Ride guys did. And the floor is going to be kind of floating. This and the wood are going to be glued together to prevent squeaking, but we're not actually going to bolt the floor down to the floor of the van. Once cabinets are installed and the like, it's all going to hold itself in place. But this is the 3/4 inch XPS foam. I was able to find what they call the 250, which means it's a 25 PSI rating, right? So it can withstand 25 pounds per square inch. The average footprint is 16 pounds per square inch. So this, along with that sheet of 1/2 inch Baltic birch plywood on top, is going to really distribute the weight fine. I'm not worried about this stuff crushing or collapsing at all. It's going to go right on top of the ribs, and I have some stuff that I'm going to put in the valleys, which I'll show you in a bit. But we have a template which Kirsten and the boys made a few weeks back that's fantastic. So she's going to just start drawing it all out. And we'll cut just a touch wide to start with and keep trimming it until we get a nice fit. There you go. Kirsten is working on cutting out the XPS foam board. I'm going to work on cutting some mini cell foam insulation into strips that's going to go in the valleys of the ribs on the floor. I've seen this method talked about a lot on the Ford Transit Forum, and Hein from DIY Van recommends it highly. I didn't buy enough mini cell foam to fill every square inch of the valleys. I actually want to leave a few of the valleys open and to allow natural airflow and just a little bit of movement down there. I think airflow is a good thing to help with reducing moisture buildup. That's my theory, at least. Hopefully that's accurate. So I don't want to fill anything completely, but I do want to add some. It's going to help with some sound dampening as well as a little more insulation. So what's nice about the stuff that Hein at DIY Van has, it's a, if memory serves, a 0.40 thickness, which is supposed to match the height of the ribs very well. So then when I put the pink foam board, the XPS on top, right, it's very level And so I'm gonna glue this stuff down with liquid nails. My plan is to then set all the foam board on top of the ribs and on top of this. It will not be glued down to the floor structure below, but it will get glued using PL300 to the Baltic birch. That's the theory of kind of the floating floor idea. So, gonna start cutting this stuff into strips, kind of laying it where I want it. Once I figure out length, sizes, and all that done, then I'll work on getting it all glued at the same time. I'm gonna have to find probably some weights, something a little heavy to set on top of them, just help encourage them from, you know, wrapping or winding up, since it's been in this big roll this whole time. So we're gonna get started on it now, see how it goes. So for this mini cell foam insulation, you see it's fairly squishy actually. It's really light. They say it's a 2-pound density. I don't, to be fair, understand fully how that equates to, like when I said 25 PSI on the XPS. But the profile is kind of spot on to match this. So like I said, I'm gonna glue these down with liquid nails to the metal. I didn't have a straight edge. I grabbed the long straight edge to cut these a little better. But essentially you see how these are gonna be done in there. So I'm gonna put them in most of the openings. These small skinny grooves here, I'm not gonna do. But the big wide grooves, I'll do. Oh yeah, that looks good.
I am a hot mess, I tell you what. Stinky, hot, but it's good. Now it's like some clouds outside. But just want to touch base. We just did, what is it called?
Mini cell.
Mini cell. Okay, so not just foam, it's mini cell. But it's done. And it was actually a lot of fun to cut and put in. We had a lot of fun. Not just because you use a caulking gun, but because it's just a lot of fun. All right, so here it is.
Looks good. And the nice thing is, it really is the same height as the ribs.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we picked this up at DIYvan.com. So it's just solely DIY van, and it's awesome. It's totally cool. This one guy actually cut it, like took the time and cut it to match the little hills perfectly, and it just looked beautiful in a picture that we saw. I'll try to find it, but no guarantees. But yeah, it's done with that.
And what's nice is the DIY van sells it in different thicknesses depending on van style, because all, you know, a Sprinter, a ProMaster, and Transit have different height ribs. So he's figured out what thickness pad works best in each application, and it's very easy to order. So really happy with it.
And it comes fast too.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Whew. So if Kirsten said earlier that she's a hot mess, then I'm a sweaty mess. But more to be done. So as you saw, the mini cell foam is in. We glued it down, for lack of a better word, with liquid nails. Seems to be working really well. I didn't feel the need, after all, to put any weights or anything on there. The liquid nails is fairly tacky to start with. And I'm not so worried about that mini cell actually moving, per se. I just wanted to stay in place while we're doing everything else. Now, you also probably saw, I think we test fitted all of our XPS pink foam board. We like how it fits. Our template worked out well, had a lot of kind of trimming and test fit trim. But since we like that so much, I'm going to use the XPS foam board now to lay on top of my 1/2-inch Baltic birch. That's loud on me. On top of the 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood, and then now then to draw where I need to cut. When we templated the XPS, we started the template with full-size boards at the front of the van. I'm going to do the opposite now with the birch and sewed at the back. That way the seam of my XPS does not line up with the seams of where the plywood is going to be. Hopefully that'll give it a little more integrity. So there's only 3 sheets here. We will need 4. I'm just kind of out of deck room to do it there, so I'll mark these out and then slide them down with the last piece. So I have some other uses for this 1/2 inch Baltic birch. I want to try to salvage it. It's not cheap, if any of you guys have looked into it. It's amazing though, the amount of plies is, it's just solid. But I want to use it to build the box for my battery system and all of that equipment. So I'm going to slide these all the way to the edge and try to salvage, you know, what the remnants are on that far side. So, but first, safety. Did a test fit on all of the plywood to make sure that all of our cuts looked good. Remember, we used our foam, XPS foam, as the template for the plywood. We almost made a little bit of an error at one point. We didn't show you because we want our plywood to extend over our step area some. We're actually going to have a cabinet that kind of overhangs part of that section. But we're not having the foam extend. You know, I'm going to have to frame out. Anyways, we almost cut the wood to match the foam, and it wouldn't have extended over the step, and that would have been bad, because that was a 1/2 sheet of plywood. They don't have another half. Anyways, we caught it. It was good. So we test fit it. It all looks good. Now we're going to put the XPS foam in, put the plywood in, make sure it all totally fits, and then one piece at a time we're going to start gluing using a PL300 to adhere the XPS to the bottom of the Baltic birch. So I'll show you where we're at so far.
So here we are. The seats are cut in here. And the foam has, because it literally is like flush with the foam, so the whole thing's cut out with the foam. But you'll notice also with the wood, not the whole thing's cut out, literally just the seat and what movement we need in order to put the seat in. But here we go. We're putting it all in. And yeah, it's been a long day. Sorry for the light for Luke, but it's been a long day. I'm gonna put you up here and you can just watch us. Or is that creepy? Yeah, I think you need this angle. Anyway, watch us finish it out for the night. We'll do that. We'll put everything down. We'll glue it down like he said. And then, get that light out of there. And then tomorrow we'll lay the vinyl down, but we're not doing the vinyl tonight because we're exhausted. We just want to put our feet up. So yeah. So watch this and then we'll pick you guys up tomorrow. Also, don't forget, leave a comment down below if you have any questions from anything we did today. And we were following the far out ride, like Lucas said, with the floating floor. And don't forget to subscribe. This is just a van build, but I tell you what, we're more exciting than just a van build. So hit subscribe button, follow everything else. Also watch the rest of our journey with this van. Here we go.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a blow. Be falling and shit.
Sweet. Oh my gosh, babe, look at this. Oh, I love.
I'm going to show you parts of the floor. We haven't glued it down or adhered it yet. I'm going to show you a few of the just kind of quirky spots and a few of areas that we're going to plan to kind of try to just clean up at a later date. I think we can clean them up just fine even after the wood is adhered to the XPS foam. So the step area first. Excuse me. So as you see, the amount of wood there, kind of leaving us a narrow step. In actuality, I'm actually going to come back through and actually probably still trim this off a little bit. But I'm not. I might even soft round it. I don't know how much yet, so I don't want to delay getting this in while I figure that out. Equally, I might have to take a, excuse me, there we go. I might have to take a planer or a sander, just run it down this edge a little bit. The door does close fine, but I might just suck it in some. This area here, you can see our layer, the foam. It's been, you know, everything shifts just a little bit, so we're contemplating whether or not to reuse the factory plastic floor section here. And even if we do, I might have enough room. This is 1/2-inch Baltic birch. I have some 1/4 and 3/8. I might be able to frame it down behind that because that step has a little bit of a void behind it. So we might be able to frame it there. We're going to trim this out with some of that kind of like aluminum angle as it is. At a later date, well actually, I'm going to just mock up something loosely here to support this corner for the moment. So that's kind of what's going on there. Same thing here. We're going to spray a bunch of the expandable foam along the walls there after we glue it. And that'll help keep it in place and we shouldn't have any squeaking. You can see what we did over here for the seat rails. I contemplated leaving some wood covering this middle section here, but we need some room for the seat rail to come under and hook in. But I figured at least could cover up the back little tail because we don't need that at all. And in theory, I could still get to these bolts if I had to do something and take it out. I don't know why, but I could get to them. Walking into the back, same thing. We kind of left perfect amount of voids on the edges, I think, to do the spray foam on both sides. Like I said, I didn't build up with any furring strips on the van floor to add any extra structure. I just used that mini cell and I put a big patch of mini cell over here where there is no ribs. And I am happy with how that feels on these edges. So even with, we're gonna have a 30-gallon water tank that sits behind the wheel well. With our cabinet layout and our bed system, I can't do an over the wheel well tank. So we're gonna do a 30-gallon right behind it. But I have no worries about how the weight of that water is gonna compress this XPS. And then same thing here, we are doing a 600 amp hour lithium battery setup. Those batteries are gonna stack here. I have plenty extra of this 1/2-inch Baltic that I'll build a box to mount our 3000 watt inverter and all the other goodies. So that'll sit here and I have no worries about that weight on this XPS. Honestly, it is unbelievably stout. On the back here, we did opt to take this all the way to the back edge. Same thing, I'm gonna put some kind of angle on this. It is curved, so it might throw me for a loop on how I really trim it. Before we glue, I'm gonna mark the hole I need to drill for the spare tire access for the lowering mechanism is right in here somewhere. So I'll take care of that. I saw someone else actually later sleeve it with a piece of PVC and then he just kind of siliconed it in, and I thought that was really creative, so we might do that as well. But all in all, really happy with it.
The following day.
Gotta do this fast. It's spray foam day. I don't know. I'm really excited about foam day. And then putting the floor in. So really excited about that. We just did a really cool tip that we saw on YouTube for spray foaming is doing tape, painter's tape around the edge, so that when you spray the foam down and below and then you're cutting it and getting it all to the same as your floor, then that way it doesn't stick to your metal, so it's really easy to come up and you don't scratch your metal and everything like that. So genius, whoever you are. It was a late night getting stuff going last night and done, so obviously it's a little good morning. I think I need more coffee. Well, anyway, it's our second day on the floor, and let's get it done. No, I haven't noticed that. Hey guys, today is a big day for the van. We are installing the floor, and I'm really excited because it's going to start like transforming the van a little bit more. And after from here on out, the van will actually probably start forming into, you know, like a little tiny home or a camper van that we can actually tell what it is. It's not just this big camper van that everybody thinks is done inside. It will start almost being done. So we're really excited. So we've just started doing the layout of everything. And in each box we chose a vinyl, and I'll show you which one. But we chose the vinyl, and in each box it comes about several different patterns because of how they print it, because it's not really wood, right? So we divided them up, so then we'll start laying them out, starting from the left to the right. We'll start lining them out and seeing the best way to lay them so they look awesome. We got it at Home Depot, and we're doing the home decor, the home decorations collection. So we went with one that had a 5-year warranty, even though I don't know if the warranty still works inside of a van, but we have a waterproofing flooring, and we went with the Banbury Oak. We just love the gray because we have it in some gray tones and some blues and stuff like that in here. So we love the color. Here's a lighter one, and then you can see the others. So let's start laying them out. Getting it done. Our battery died, so we couldn't really record a whole lot, but hey, guess what? We have like a floor.
It's almost done.
It's almost done. Now, I don't know if I can't remember if I explained it before, but we do have this wall here to make our line. This is our wall that will divide the front part from our garage, and then our bed's on top of that. But anyway, we have two different floors that we're putting in. We're putting in a coin floor in the back, and then this floor, which, you know, it's vinyl, so it's the tongue and groove. And so we'll let you guys watch some of the planks going in right now. But other than that, it's just about done. It feels pretty good. You know, one thing that we didn't mention was that we've actually been using some carpet tape or some like carpenter tape. This has like some netting in it, but it's like a clear, really flat tape that we've only been using on the edges and then along the seam. You really don't need it even if you're doing the floating system, but we just gave us a little bit of a peace of mind. We did see some people do it, so we were like, hey, why not? It's not going to hurt anything. It's not really needed, but a little bit of a peace of mind. So that's what we did. Good evening, you guys. We are going to not necessarily finish the floor tonight, but the big base coat of the floor we're going to finish tonight. And I haven't decided if I can post with the trim in here all completed, finished, or if I want to just get this video up and then also do like a trim end piece where we do like caulking all the way around and figure out what we're going to do the finishing touches with, or we'll show you the caulk that we use and then do a whole video of like finishing touches. Haven't decided yet, but as of tonight, we're gonna put down the coin floor on the bottom. We decided to go with black to just keep it just pretty black in the back. All of our fixtures are black, and so that with a bunch of pop color I think will be perfect. So we'll be doing that tonight, and I know it's like different hair, different outfit, and we've been filming the floor in definitely different stages, even places that we're living, because as you're going, you literally have several projects going all at once. You're waiting for things to come in because of COVID. Everything's on either back order, or you're just waiting to make a decision on something. Or one thing leads to another, and you just can't keep going on a project because you got to start on another project. But anyway, right now we are going to get the coin floor done and get that all set up. Oh, do you like it?
Nice. It's tough.
Is it durable? Oh yeah. I really like that it's the bigger circles and versus the little ones. It's gonna be really easy to clean. 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Oh, it cuts pretty well, huh? So we have a bunch of this double-sided sticky tape left over from the other floor section. So I figured we'll use it on this, at least on the seam of the wood and around all the perimeter edges, just to make sure we don't have any issues of that peeling up in the future. And then we use the spray adhesive everywhere else. Looks like someone wants to play fetch. Get it. Get it. Go lay down.
Okay, you know it's been a good day. Well, first, I mean, we just gotta talk about this. Crocs, I swear, this, so far, the van build or anything we've done has been in Crocs. So if he's not in Crocs, somebody has to say something for the next video. But now we're a pirate, arr. And then we just go up. And then, I got pizza and beer, and this is a beer stain. But you know what? It's okay, because, dude, that's a handsome man. He won't let me make this cut, just so you know. I'm a little all wonky. Why didn't you tell me I'm a little wonky? Oh, who cares? Building a van.
That is really trippy looking.
What?
In the van?
Did you see this?
Out of the van. In the van? Out of the van. All right.
I'm out of the van. I'm in